dominated 15s, he's dominated 16s, he's dominated 17s, he's dominated 18s and 19s in college, he's dominated.
Flagg under and in. Big time bucket from Cooper Flagg.
So as a big man coming into this game, Cooper fits right into that.
No teenager has ever scored 50 points in an NBA game. There's a chance for it right here, right now.
I just want him to enjoy where he's at now.
Opening night in Dallas did not feel like a debut. It felt like a test. Cooper Flagg walked onto an NBA floor for the first time, and the first thing waiting for him was not patience, not a soft matchup, not some gentle little welcome to the league moment. It was Victor Wembanyama, 7'4", already comfortable, already terrifying, already looking like the future had shown up early and started blocking shots for fun. And Flagg had to learn the NBA against that. Then came the rest of it. Kyrie Irving was hurt.
AJ called him the best paint scorer in the league.
The roster had no clean identity. The Luka Doncic shadow was still sitting over the whole franchise like a bad smell nobody wanted to admit was there. And somehow the 19-year-old did not disappear. He adapted. That's the real story. Dallas did not give Cooper Flagg a normal rookie season. They gave him a broken situation and asked him to become the solution. That's a wild thing to do to a teenager. I don't care how good the prospect is. I don't care how many mixtapes he had, how many scouts loved him, how many people called him the safest #1 pick in years. They're safe on paper, and then there's being asked to save possessions on an NBA floor while the team around you is still trying to remember what it's supposed to be. Flagg got the second one. And that's where Wembanyama warned us. Wembanyama did not warn us that every great prospect would look like him. That's not the point. He warned us that when a real outlier arrives, the first version can look messy because the team is still learning what it has. The role can be wrong, the spacing can be ugly, the losses can hide the growth. That's what happened with Cooper Flagg. But before we start, if you love basketball and you're one of the 90% who watch without subscribing, it's time to join the NBA Inside family. Opening night almost felt cruel. Dallas against San Antonio, Flagg's first real NBA test. And waiting on the other side was Wembanyama, already developed from impossible prospect into franchise body. That's a rough first day at work. Most rookies get a little time to breathe, some early touches, a few welcome to the league moments, a broadcast team politely saying he's still finding his rhythm. Flagg got Wemby, 7'4", too long, too skilled, too comfortable making NBA players look like they guessed wrong before they even moved.
Try to slow the advance.
Oh my! The tomahawk from Wemby.
Wemby gave Dallas 40 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 blocks. San Antonio controlled the paint. The whole night felt like a reminder that the league already had one young player who did not follow normal rules.
And hitting back-to-back buckets for the #1 overall pick, Cooper Flagg.
Flagg still finished with a double-double. That mattered. The Spurs won the night. Wemby owned the headline. Fine, that part was obvious. The most interesting part, however, was Flagg's response. He did not look like a kid looking for the exit. He looked like a kid getting hit in the mouth, blinking twice, and going, "Alright, so this is how it is." That's different. A lot of rookies get their first taste of NBA size and start playing smaller. The handle gets tighter in a bad way. The pass comes late. The shot rushes. The confidence leaks out possession by possession. Flagg had rough moments. Of course he did. He's 19, but still, he kept playing around them. That became the pattern of his season. First, he had to survive the matchup. Then he had to survive the role. Then he had to survive the franchise noise. Once he did all three, the 51-point game stopped feeling random.
Player in NBA history with 50 points in a game.
It felt like a preview. And you know, the role part is the one that still sounds ridiculous. Cooper Flagg's a 6'9" forward. He can pass, he can handle, he can initiate some offense. All true. Dallas basically looked at him and said, "Great, you're our point guard now." That's not a development plan. That sounds like something your cousin does in 2K after losing patience with the roster. Kyrie was hurt. The spacing was weird. The Mavericks had nights where the offense was looking like 5 people trying to assemble a chair without instructions. So Flagg had to bring the ball up, read traps, create late, find shooters, attack switches, rebound, defend, then answer questions after another loss like he was supposed to have the whole franchise figured out by Thanksgiving. That's a lonely job for a rookie. When the spacing's bad, your drives look worse. When the veterans are hurt, your mistakes get louder. When a franchise just lost its identity, every bad night becomes evidence for someone else's argument. Flagg was not only learning the NBA, he was learning it while people were asking if Dallas had already messed everything up. That's a different kind of pressure. And still, the numbers kept showing up. Around 21 points a night, almost 7 rebounds, over 4 assists, strong production on the surface, heavier production when you actually watch the job. These were not easy rookie numbers where a veteran guard creates everything and the young guy gets to cut, dunk, and smile for the camera. Flagg was doing adult work, sometimes clunky, sometimes forced, sometimes with that look young players get when the possession has gone bad and everyone in the building knows the ball's coming back to him anyway. Then he would make a play. A skip pass, a weak side block, a transition push, a rebound in traffic, a drive around contact. Small proof kept stacking. Then came Orlando. At first, it felt like a strong rookie night. Then it started getting weird. Then Dallas realized it was watching something bigger than a hot hand. 51 points. From a teenager. Not from a finished superstar. Not from some veteran who already knows every coverage, every angle, every trick. From a 19-year-old still learning what NBA pressure feels like.
Very special for Orlando when they played that game back in January in Berlin. Swing! And the hammer is dropped!
That night, Dallas did not just see a big scoring performance. Dallas saw an answer. There are 19-year-olds who still forget laundry in the washer for 2 days. And Flagg gave them 51 points against NBA athletes. And the best part is, it did not feel like one lucky heater. He attacked, he shot, he got to the line, he played through contact. He kept reading the floor as the night got bigger. That 51 did not prove Flagg was perfect. It proved the ceiling was already leaking through the mess. Because the 51 did not come from comfort. It came from pressure. It came from confusion. It came from a rookie being told to grow up before the team around him was ready. That's the line where the whole season changes. Before that, people could still be careful. Nice rookie. Great future. Needs time. Reasonable stuff. After a teenager drops 51, the cautious voice starts sounding a little silly. Because once a player shows you that level, even once, the conversation moves. You stop asking if he belongs. You start asking what happens when the team finally gives him a real environment. That's where the Wemby link matters. Flagg's not Wembanyama. He does not bend the game vertically. He bends it with choices. Put him at forward, he can handle. Put him on the ball, he sees over smaller defenders.
In the draft this year, Cooper Flagg, who is this year's generation's favorite player.
Use him as a screener, he can slip into space. Let him run after rebounds, he becomes dangerous before the defense gets matched up. Switch a guard onto him, he can use the size. Put a slower forward on him, he attacks the gap. Send help, he can pass. That's the problem. The rookie version we saw was probably the hardest version. The emergency point guard version. The bad spacing version. The Dallas is still in therapy version. And even that version gave you 21 a night, a 51-point explosion, real rebounding, real defensive activity, and enough passing flashes to make the future feel bigger than the present. So what happens when Kyrie comes back? What happens when Flagg gets to attack the second side instead of creating the whole first advantage himself? What happens when he catches the ball after the defense is already tilted? What happens when Dallas stops asking him to carry the entire mess and starts letting him punish the mess other players create? That's when this gets scary. Imagine Kyrie breaking down the first defender and Flagg catching against a rotating defense. Imagine Flagg setting the screen, slipping into space, and forcing the defense to pick between Kyrie with the ball and a 6'9" forward diving into open grass. Imagine him grabbing a rebound, pushing with shooters actually filling the lanes, and not having to force a miracle because the spacing finally makes sense. That version's cleaner, faster, meaner, probably a lot closer to what Dallas thought it was drafting. And yes, Flagg still has work to do. The handle can tighten, the body can get stronger, the shot profile can get cleaner. He can learn when to force and when to let a possession breathe. Good, that's normal. The flaws are normal rookie stuff too. The strengths are not. The passing flashes are not. The defensive versatility is not. The 51-point game obviously is not. The comfort playing out of position, under pressure, inside a franchise that was still arguing with its own past, that's not normal either. Wembanyama taught the league to watch for those signs. Sometimes the team's still learning the player. Sometimes the role is wrong. Sometimes the losses hide the growth. Sometimes the first version looks messy because the player's already being asked to do things the roster is not ready to support. That happened in Dallas. The Mavericks struggled. The season got ugly.
The big dog, the big guy, you know what I'm saying, 17-year-old Cooper Flagg was out there cooking.
The record did not match the talent everyone wanted to see. Other rookies had cleaner team stories. That matters. Winning matters. I get that. But Flagg's season had weight on it. Heavy numbers, hard numbers, numbers with context. Players notice that. They know when a rookie's being spoon-fed, and they know when a rookie's being thrown into the deep end with no floaties and the fan base yelling from the pool deck. Flagg was in the deep end. He kept swimming. That's the trait. That's why the Wemby warning matters. Wemby showed the league what a real outlier looks like when he arrives early. The team may not be ready. The role may not be clean. The mistakes may be loud. The flashes still make every concern feel smaller. Flagg is stacking his own proof now. Opening night against Wemby. Point guard reps he was never supposed to need this soon. Rebounding through contact, defensive activity, a 51-point warning shot. The way Dallas already feels impossible to discuss without putting him in the center of the next era. Before Flagg, the Mavericks felt stuck between regret and confusion. The old era was gone. The new one did not have a face yet. The roster felt strange. The fan base was tired. Flagg gave them something simple. Build around him. That's the sentence now. And if Dallas does that right, this can flip quickly. Because Cooper Flagg is not a one-skill prospect. He's not a scorer who needs every possession designed around his shot. He's not a defender who has to be hidden offensively. He's not a passer who can't score. He fills gaps and creates them. That's rare. That's the part that makes the ceiling feel real. Dallas did not give Cooper Flagg a clean rookie season. They gave him Wemby on opening night. They gave him bad spacing. They gave him Kyrie's injury. They gave him Luka's shadow. They gave him a role most teenagers would not survive. And somehow, all of that became the proof. Because the 51-point game did not come from comfort. It came from pressure. It came from a rookie carrying a franchise that still looked confused about its own future. That's the warning Wemby left behind. Not that every outlier looks the same. The warning is that the messy version can be the scariest one. Because once the team finally catches up to the player, the league usually finds out too late. Cooper Flagg is not the same kind of outlier as Wembanyama, but Dallas may have found one anyway.